I've been outside for 6 minutes and my fucking fingers are freezing. 7 minutes I've been outside. Kind of ridiculous. I'm like, what the hell? What the hell? Why would you ever pause? Oh my gosh, dude, a shaving ape. It's been so long since I've seen you. I hope you're having a fantastic night, dude. If I don't see you on Christmas, Merry Christmas. A_SHAVING_APE. Where you at, bro? I'm just chilling in the lobby. I literally just got in here. I just left the library. Oh, fuck yeah. Oh my god. I needed this. I'm getting a massage. Free massage. I hope you're having a great one, though, Shaving Ape. You got here quick, too. I only went live 2 minutes and 55 seconds ago as of right now. I'm gonna recline. The last time I was in here, it reeked like paint so bad. I think that was like either Thursday or Friday night. Where's my water? Oh, I set it down. That's right. don't think YouTube knows what to do because I've been starting to stream a lot more. What up, chat? Oh. It's weird. I put a poll and then I immediately get somebody in here. Are you guys just lurking or what? God, I don't know how many times I've heard fucking Santa Baby today, but I really hate this song. Santa Baby, won't you give me a fat fucking load of coal? Santa Baby, won't you give me a fat motherfucker big ass load of coal? I fucking hate this town. But I'm gonna miss parts about it. Santa Baby. Oh my god, it hurts. There we go. How about that? How about this one? I gotta change the color. There we go. I don't like having the white chat box. I like the black chat box because you can see it easier. Oops, my heart went. This is the ideal mode. You want blue, 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 red, red. Shiatsu. Shiatsu. What is that? Is that a dog? Oh, it's a fist. It's a fist emoji. Oh. That hurt. I'm getting that good massage in right now. This chat bugged out because I don't have any chats coming in. I think I'm starting to hallucinate. I keep seeing movement and then there's like nothing there. Hi, Mia. Ow. Hi, Jester. If I don't see you guys for Christmas, Merry Christmas. I think I'm starting to hallucinate. I lowered the goal $50. I'll shave them off for $50. But then you guys gotta come up with a... What the hell was that? How are you? And you too. Merry early Christmas. Yeah, just in case I don't stream on Christmas, I wanted to say Merry Christmas to you guys. We just had a shaving ape in here earlier. It's been a long time since I seen him. Jester says, bah humbug. You're, Grinching? You're Grinching on him? Scrooging him? Oh, I got my screwdriver with me. I almost forgot my screwdriver in the safe at the shelter. By the way, yeah, if you guys couldn't tell, I left the shelter. I was pissed because I couldn't stream there. I was getting irritated. There's a bunch of GoPro footage that I need to upload. It's like 8 hours worth of video. So do you have anywhere to stay tonight? Yeah. Tomorrow night, no. Pog Whisperer says, I met this girl at the club last night. She said my scrotum looks like an upside down heart emoji. Do you think she is serious about me? Of course. PAWG dot WHISPERER. I think she was complimenting you. You know, an upside down heart's a good compliment. A little Saint. I should make a fucking Christmas song. That's what I was trying to work on. I hear all these fucking Christmas songs, man. Oh my god. I'm gonna be really tired of the Christmas shit if they leave it up after Christmas. And it's gonna be kind of fucked up if they leave it up past New Year's. Most people leave their shit up until all the way through January. And I think that's a little excessive. What's up, Willow? We lowered the goal $50. If we can get 50 bones, I'm literally just trying to fucking get my shit together. I think I'm starting to hallucinate. So that's making me pretty uncomfortable. Yeah, I did, Jester. I did see that. I just forgot to respond. So did you see what I left on Discord? Oh, did I say Messenger? I meant, yeah, I saw what you sent on Discord. You need to sleep after. I'll sleep once I get to a safe place. And then we'll probably do a sleep stream. Where's my phone at? Thanks for reminding me. 44. I'm gonna plug it in. 'Cause I got my good old trusty battery. No, I think it's THC withdrawal that's making me hallucinate. Cause I can stay up like fucking 36 hours and I won't like be tripping. I've stayed up for like 4 days. No, sorry. I've stayed up for 48 hours with like no issues before. You can't at your old spot. You need to sleep. Oh, you mean my shop? Yeah, not a lot of people know about that, so I kind of want to keep it that way. Nobody is supposed to know about that. You can't at your old spot. You mean Qdoba? I might do a I might do a stream. What's today? Monday night? I'll probably do a stream Tuesday night. I'll probably stream Tuesday night at Qdoba if the weather permits it. Yeah, that's what I was. Low key, the spot, yeah. I'm terrible with responding, Jester. Just embrace the madness. I am. I just really want to smoke. Either like just a bowl or like a pinchy or something. But don't take your pants off. Yeah, I don't want to take my pants off. Some two different people I think told me to do that. My dad and then somebody that's supposed to be a friend. They told me because I told them that I was miserable at the shelter because they put me right next to the heater and my body is not regulated to even being inside. So they were like blasting me with like it felt like 76, it felt like 80-degree heat. Fuck no, it felt like 85, 86-degree heat. Just blasting. That's what it felt like to me. And I was just non-stop sweating while I was in the shelter. And it made me feel sick. To be honest, it made me feel sick. Like being inside. Don't get me wrong, it's a lot fucking better than being outside. I gotta take the lesser of two evils, but man, it was just fucking miserable in there. And then I was like, I had flashbacks to the first time I was there, and then both times, like this time and the last time I was there, like 2.5, like 3 years ago. I had flashbacks then because the shelter reminded me of all the different times I was like in mental hospitals or even in jail. Like it feels like jail because they try to give you a structured environment and all that shit. But I just don't do well in a structured environment. And partially that's due to because I'm diagnosed ODD. I'm diagnosed to be odd. No, that's oppositional defiance disorder. So, like, even if I want to do something, my brain will tell me, no, you gotta resist. You gotta, you can't conform. Oh, Queen T? Oh, Queen T, good to see you. LOL. You sure are an odd one, JK. No, that's the joke I was making. Odd. Chester says, this, this is the ox I was talking about, this tone. Emotional state. I'm fucking tired. Queen T. Life? Is that what your new name is? Oh no, Queen Tiffy. QUEENTIFFIE says, yeah, oh, you sure are an odd one. You're right. I really want to hit this shit right here. I want to hit this shit. If I shave my brows off, I'll look even more alien. I really need a fucking toke. I literally need just like a pinch of weed. Just to stop like hallucinating. Just start talking about your experiences and give street stories. Pull us all in. What do you guys want to know? What do y'all want to know? People tend to forget that they can ask me questions. I mean, I got stories for fucking days. It's just most of the shit about myself I don't want to share. Because a lot of it's fucking bad. A lot of it's dark. Just engage and ramble. Well, I'm trying to, Jester. Well, I'm not trying to ramble. I'm trying to be engaging. I'm trying to just talk about shit. Queen Tiffy says odd is a hard one to deal with, not just as a person, but as a parent too. Uh-oh, sounds like You're not doing good. Where you been the last few days of freezing weather? I went up to the shelter in Stevens Point, and I stayed a couple nights there, and yeah, I was just getting done talking about, like, how I was having flashbacks to being in, like, mental hospital, or, you know, it reminds me of jail, and fuck, I went to jail, like, 3 times last year. Luckily, I've stayed out of jail this whole year. Yay, me! Stopper buys will get sucked in. They need to get sucked in. Willow says, this is a good idea, Jester. Or that is a good idea, Jester. Damn, jail, why though? Can I ask? Mia asks. Um, last year was 2 disorderly conducts. And I'm trying to remember. I always feel like Darth Vader. I mean, the moment that Anakin becomes Darth Vader, getting, like, lifted up after the medical droids, like, turn him into fucking cyborg Vader. When his chair, like, stops and makes me sit upright. I think 2 of them were disorderly conducts. I'm trying to remember when I even went. Was it really 3 times last year? I don't even remember. Like, that's the fucked up part. Oh, I do remember. I just fucking remembered. Yeah. um. So the first one was a warrant, which I don't even know I had a warrant. And I got into it with my roommate. No, sorry, rather, my roommate got into it with me. And then I ended up putting his ass in a blood choke. This is an old roommate, by the way. And this is when I worked at the adult store. So it was one day, like, my roommate's dad was like, he just showed up at like fucking like 10 or 11, like between like 9 and 11 in the morning, knocking on the door. And I was annoyed, so I just answered the door and I was just like, sure, if you want to wake him up. I let him in, and then his dad went to his door and woke him up and shit, and his girlfriend, and then he had to get up like, oh, boo-hoo, 2 hours before his alarm would have gone off. God forbid you spend some time with your fucking father that wants to spend some time with you. Well, maybe his dad didn't really want to spend time with him. He probably wanted to buy weed off of him. But I'm not from Arizona, Blazing. I'm from Illinois. I lived in Chicago before I lived in Wisconsin. I've been in Wisconsin for 10 years. But back to the story. His dad came over. He was probably like just trying to fucking hang out with him and smoke, or like buy some weed off him, like a cart or something. So I was annoyed because fucking shit woke me up too, and I was trying to do my own thing. And I just got up since I was already up, and I got on one of my video games, probably Call of Duty or something. And I'm just playing. So then he was hanging out with his dad for a little bit, and then he kicked his dad out, and then he came like pounding on my door of my bedroom that I was paying for. He's like, if you ever let my dad in again, I'm gonna beat your ass or some shit. Like just instantaneous with the threats and all that shit. And I was like, he kind of just let himself in. I was just like, whatever. You know, it was nothing that was discussed prior. So he's like, oh, I'm gonna beat your fucking ass. Ah. And I was like, fucking do something then. Because I was just fed up. So I said, fucking do something, pussy. Um, that's when he busted in my door. And he was immediately like trying to like wrestle me. So we scuffled. He was trying to trip my left leg. And he had me like in a grab. He was gonna try to throw me on my back because he was 10 years in wrestling. Yeah, he doesn't have shit fucking show for it. So he was trying to throw me on my back. Granted, I already have a bad back. And I was not gonna let that happen. So I'm wrestling with them, like we're grabbing each other, like just around each other's like shoulders or something. Finally, I realized it was gonna go nowhere because we basically had each other in a hold. I broke free of it, did a little turn to the right, like 360, because of the way his leg was. He had me in like a leg lock, like a standing leg lock. I don't know how to explain it. But I had to get my leg out of it, and the only way I could do that was doing a fucking 360. So I do this little spin move, and I felt like the Flash. It happened so quick. And it seemed like he didn't even move. He didn't even have time to react. So I did the little 360, and I immediately wrapped my arm around his neck, and I went like this. I had my fist like this, and you take it, because you angle it down, like this is my wrist, right? You angle it down, and then you lock it by pushing your fist in, and my right arm's dominant. So I immediately put him in a blood choke. With my arm, it was like scissors around his neck, and I locked it in, and I just screamed in his face. I was like, "Are you fucking done?" I was like, "Are you done? Are you fucking done?" And I'm pinching him like as hard as I can, and he's like, he wasn't choking. It wasn't an air choke, but he's like, "I'm sorry." I'm like, "Fucking tap out," and he was tapping out, and then I let him go. I was like, "Get the fuck out of here." So he ended up like, taking the L. There was not a lot of room for him to really move either. It was like in the little hallway of the entrance to my room. So I was like, yeah. I told him to do something. He tried it. I didn't let it slide. I choked the fucker, made him tap with the blood choke because he was on the verge of passing out. Just after like a few seconds, if you really pinch somebody on both sides of their neck, like you can make them pass out pretty quick. So I had him in that, and then he was cool. He's like, "I'm sorry." He was all apologetic, and then he's like, "I went easy on you." And I was like, "No, the fuck you didn't." He's like, "I was trying not to hurt your back." I'm like, "Bullshit. You were trying to throw me on my back." And he was trying to start shit with me again. It turned into a screaming match, and then I just fucking called the cops and then gave my statement. He gave his, and I was like, "I don't want to press charges. I just want him to fuck off." And then they just arrested me because I just had like a warrant. I was on a year of probation back um or towards the end of it. I was probably like 9 months through probation or something. Um, so yeah, that's how I went to jail, and then I was in jail for like a night or two. I think just one night. I got out the next day. That was the first time last year, and then there was two other times. The other two times were they were two disorderly conducts. So the first time it was just a warrant, and then the other two were disorderlies, where I was just like screaming at the cops and shit, or I was just yelling at them. Um, hold up. All right, now let me read these comments. Why did you end up in jail? Y'all want to know the deep shit. Um, Chester says, why did you end up in jail? Chester says, Willow, Mia, keep him talking. New viewers. Chester says, go in depth, Ox. It's as much as I'm gonna with that one. Blazing says, where you at? What part of Arizona are you from? I'm not, but I haven't been out to Arizona since I was like 6 or 7. No, I was probably like 4 or 5, 5 or 6 at most. Um, and we were in either Tucson or Phoenix. I think we were in Tucson, and then we visited Phoenix as well. I think. Blazing says my brother stays in Illinois. Justin Raw. Oh, don't drop his full government name. RAWE. That's wild. Jester says luck, you lucky he didn't jump backwards. One, I had him in the choke? Oh, I would have let him fucking jump backwards on his own. I would have just let him go. Mia says, wow, that's crazy. Yeah, it was kind of wild, but I had to defend myself type shit. Blazing says, bro. Jester says, but I gotta go. Please don't stop talking, man. Blazing says, can I be a mod? Potentially. Potentially. Jester says, so, new? No new mods yet, Blazing. But bring your friends here. Yeah, bring your friends. Willow says, the viewers rose with the stories. Real shit. So, the other time was... I was on my way home from riding my bike home from work, and I just decided to go and kill some time a little bit. I got off at like 11 or midnight or something like that. It was either like 10, 11, or midnight. I can't remember. And then I was just riding my bike around, killing some time. I went on a bike ride. I think I went downtown. I went past all the bars, and then I was like making my way back home because I was like, fuck all that bar shit. Um, but I was dressed up. I was wearing like a skirt. Um, I was cross-dressed. So these teenagers were out. And this is at like fucking 1 or 2 in the morning, like a couple hours after I got off work, and I was downtown, and it's like a couple hours later. I was on my ride back home. Then these teenagers are like, "Fuck you," and then they're like saying slurs to me, and I was like, I think I said something like, "Wouldn't you like?" And that just pissed them off. So then they were trying to chase me, and then I talked my shit. I ended up like dropping a bag of groceries because I was riding my bike so hard the plastic bag burst open. I dropped like a whole bag of fucking condiments and groceries and shit. Some of it was glass, and so I lost that. I mean, it wasn't really an L. It was just a bunch of sauce. So they were trying to chase me. I'm on a bike. They're on foot, right? They ended up like picking up the sauces, and they're like trying to throw sauce bottles at me and shit. It was kind of funny. But I talked shit, and then somebody had called the cops for a noise complaint. As soon as the kids saw the cops like turn around the corner, they all like started hopping fences and like going in like to people's yards and shit to escape. Um, and they just went back into the fucking woodwork like little cockroaches while I was just sitting on the on the street with my bike. And of course, the cop came up to me, asked what was going on, and I told him exactly what happened. And then they were pressing me. Like there was three different cops that pulled up on me. And then they were pressing me, and I told them what happened. I was like, "Hey, I was almost a victim just now." And they're like, "Oh, well, right now you're being loud," and I was just fucking pissed because of the interaction, like, because they were just hating on me. They were just being homophobic, bigots, all this shit. Um, don't wanna get into it, but that's why I was pissed. And then the cops were giving me a hard time because I was cross-dressed as well. And I was like, "Fuck you guys," you know. I was like, "I'm being loud. I'm being too loud." I wasn't yelling at them, but I raised my voice at them a little bit. And that's when one of them asked me, "Do you want to go to jail?" I was like, "Sure, take me." I was just being sarcastic, and then they fucking did and charged me with a disorderly. So I learned my lesson there. You gotta fucking really bite your tongue when you talk to these fucking pigs. Um, Fucking rats. Anyway, that was the second time, and then the third time was right after Halloween. I had a fucking blackout psychosis mental breakdown, kind of out by the woods by this person's house, and they ended up calling a noise complaint. And it was like my third interaction with cops that night, and I didn't like what they did because they were I was talking to one cop, and there was another like two guys. I was talking to a female, and it was chill until I hear the guys like laughing. And keep in mind, schizophrenic, not schizophrenic, psychosis, fucking blackout, fucking like tripping. And I was sober. I was blacking out from withdrawals. Um, so they were laughing, and I was like, "What the fuck are you laughing for?" I was immediately offended. I thought they were laughing at me and shit. And that's when they were all like pressing me. They all surrounded me, backed me up against a wall, and I started freaking out. I got up, and all I did was turn around and punch the wall, and I was telling them to like back up and shit, and they were just pressing me. So then that was another disorderly conduct, and I might have been like fucking possessed that night. I'm not even gonna lie. Um, but yeah, that's that story. And I went to jail one other time, and that was for destruction of property. That was the first time I went. I kicked in my stepdad's garage door. One of the panels, I dented the shit out of it because earlier that night I was pissed because I don't want to put too much information out there. I was mad because I had to go pick up my mom from her job bartending, and she had lost the ability to drive. So she was like getting dropped off there and asking me to like pick her up and shit. I had no problem doing that, right? Oh, you know what? I'm getting two scenarios mixed up. Um, I had met her out there. She had her car. And then she's like, "Well, you can come back to the house, hang out," like kind of how I've been doing a little bit this winter. Um, I had my car though. We both had our car at the bar. So she left first. And I wasn't ready to go deal with anything right away. So I stayed in the parking lot. I listened to music for like 5 or 10 minutes. I put on this like Fire Drift song. Um, it's actually it's a song by My Lane, ex exclamation point, or my exclamation point Lane. Um, It was this fire drift song. So, like, the first thing I do, I'm going down the road. It's snowing like fucking hell. And the first corner that I came up on, I tried to drift and I fucking ended up in the ditch. And then I was pissed. I was calling my mom. She came and picked me up. She was pissed. She was like, well, we're just gonna have to leave it in the ditch right now. I ended up having to get it, like, fucking towed out of the ditch. It was such a fucking pain in the ass. But I got back to my mom came pick me up. I was upset that I had to leave my car in the ditch. She picked me up, took me all the way to her house, and we were down in an argument on the way there. And then she took, like, my sleeping bag. She didn't realize she did this, but some of the ice was, like, the icicles were melting. So it was, like, really wet in front of the garage. Like, some of it was melting and it was still snowing. And she threw my sleeping bags and blankets, like, right in the water, and she didn't realize she did that. And then went to close the garage right away because she opened it up halfway and just threw them under the thing. And she was like, you can walk back to your car and go sleep in your car, after she had just driven me like 2.5 miles away from my car. I just fucking snapped. And the air was so dry, my hands were like cracking and bleeding. And I was pissed once she locked me out, so I just started like fucking banging on the front door. And there was, I didn't even realize it until like the next, like a week later after I got out of jail. I'm not trying to skip, but there's like a bloody fucking fist print on the door. It was crazy. And then so I was just like begging her to fucking let me in, and I was pissed. And then she ended up pepper spraying me through the door, and then that set me off even more. After I had like the first thing I did, I was just kicking the fucking shit out of the one or two panels on the garage, and that's when I was trying to get in the house. So then she pepper sprayed me. That just made me more mad. I just put a bunch of snow on my face and like wiped it off, and still having like a yelling match with her in the front yard. And then she finally felt like bad because I was like, let me come in and wash my face at least or something, because the pepper spray, I'd never been pepper sprayed before. She let me in, and then this is where I made a fucked up joke where I was like, I had a pepper spray on me as well, and it had a bunch of like tape and stuff on it. It wasn't even like unwrapped, right? But I just made a joke. I just held up my keys. I was like, all right, your turn. And then she called the cops on me for that. I wasn't gonna fucking pepper spray her. I would not even put my hands on my mother. But yeah, then like fucking 10 cops came. They busted the door down. They tried to charge me with breaking the front door down when they broke the door. That's how crooked the cops are here. Just so they didn't get in trouble for literally like breaking the fucking front door, they blamed it on me. Like, literally, it took fucking, I don't know how many dudes to kick it down. There's no way I would have kicked down that door. And then they shattered the outer glass door and kicked the wooden door in. And then there was immediately, like, fucking green lasers, flashlights. It was mostly flashlights. There was a couple lasers, but there was, like, fucking 10 cops storming in the house and they all had AR-15s like pointed at me and shit. And I was just walking down the stairs with my hands up. Couldn't even see. Barely. I could see the lights and the lasers and the silhouettes, the just the outlines of the cops behind the light. And I immediately surrendered. I think I wasn't even surrendering to anything. I was just like, all right, here I am. I think I ended up hitting my head on one of the cops' hoods because I was just so fucking mad. I was already in handcuffs and shit. I think I headbutt one of the hoods of the squad SUVs, and then yeah, I went to jail for like a week because of that. So that was a shitty story. And now this live stream's gonna be private. Which I should keep it public for watch hours, but like, does it really fucking matter? I don't want these stories out here like that. But now you're doing better, so that's good. Yeah, I was able to quit nicotine while I was in jail, because obviously I forced to. I wanted to KMS on like the third day. But I made it out, and then like I found like half a pod that I had left in my car, and I immediately started smoking again, and I just haven't fucking quit. It's a really shitty fucking story to me. Cause that shit should have never happened. She knew not to call the cops on me. But she was like, oh, I was triggered. I'm like, you fucking sent me to jail. She's like, nowadays, like after it, and to this day, like she regrets calling the cops because I almost caught a felony destruction of property, and that's only if it's more than $1,000 worth of damage. And that's how the cops were trying to get me with a felony, because I busted down the front door. I had already dented 2 garage door panels. With the shit that the cops broke, it was over 1,000. So my mom actually like testified with me to get everything sorted out. Got my charges like dropped down to just a fine. Because before I was looking at felony destruction of property. They were trying to get me on trespassing. They were trying to get me on a bunch of shit. And, well, for one, I wasn't trespassing. I was invited in the house by my mom. She told them that. I had a disorderly. There was 4 charges from that night. I don't even remember what. I think it was felony destruction of property. It was trespassing. It was disorderly conduct. And I forget the other charge. There was one more charge. You are triggered? Yeah, I'm the one triggered. Welcome back, Mindy Boblet. Good to see you. I hope you're having a great night. Blazing, I don't know how to answer that question. I just was. MINDYBOBLET 6003 says I'm back. Welcome back. Willis says, but now you're doing better, so that's good. Yeah. Somehow, some way. I don't know. I don't know if I believe it. Willow says, can you trim the stream? I could probably just remove the audio from this part of the story. I mean, I might just leave it up. I mean, who really cares? My mom's gonna care, but she doesn't have to know that I'm talking about it. Mia says, not shitty, by the way, quite interesting. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's an experience. Clean Tiffy says you mentioned a mental breakdown you had, so yeah, there was a couple. So maybe we should ask different questions besides the ones that would cause you to talk about that stuff. And she was triggered. Yeah, because my mom was abused by like partners in her past, and she thought I was gonna like hurt her or something, which I would never do. Queen, Tiffy says, what about you now today? You are triggered. I'm so sorry. It's alright. I just really want to smoke some weed now even more. Um, Pretty much all the interactions I've had with cops, besides the one with my roommate, were mental breakdowns. And they don't treat people dealing with mental illness, mental breakdowns well or humanely at all. The last time I went, they literally were trying to strip me. They wouldn't let me fucking undress myself. I drew the line where I was like screaming for them to stop when they were trying to like pull my piercings out. But you can't just pull them out, you know? Willow says, yeah, let's get some good ones. Some good one what? Some good one what's? I'm fucking pissed. I'm actually fucking pissed because my life is ruined. Because of the shit with cops. Because of the shit with me losing my car. That's a whole nother story for another fucking day. I'm not gonna get into that. I'll talk about that in March. I'll talk about that in fucking 2.5 months from now. Because I'm gonna have to work up to that one. I'll make a video about it. About that story. Queen says, so what are all the video games you play online? Enough of that sad stuff, hon. I don't really play any video games anymore. I used to be really into Call of Duty. I liked For Honor. I liked some fighting games. I really like Killing Floor, but that's more of an arcade game. I like Just Cause 3, because it's fun. It's like GTA, but it's like single player GTA, but there's just like there's almost more to do. I don't know. I can't even remember all the games I used to play. It was mostly Call of Duty for years and years and years, almost a whole decade of Call of Duty. The only Call of Duties that I didn't play that have come out in my lifetime, like I didn't ever have Advanced Warfare, I didn't have Infinite Warfare. I didn't want them. I've played pretty much every Call of Duty, but then if you're looking at like MW Modern Warfare 3 and prior, I didn't play any of the Call of Duties like prior to that. I had Black Ops on the DS, and I had MW3 on the Nintendo DS as well. That was kind of wild. I still have them somewhere. I'd like to find them. That'd be a funny ass fucking gameplay stream. No, there was another question. Besides the one that she was triggered. Yeah, I don't want to. I don't even know how we fucking started talking about this. Who asked me about jail? Oh. Yeah, because I was talking about the shelter, how it reminded me of jail. Okay. That's how we got there. Okay. Fucking hell. Well, y'all know a little bit too much, huh? Willow says, hey, you still here and you have things to look forward to. You have everyone here on YouTube. Yeah, I have that, but I will never be the man that I used to almost be. Because I used to be able to lift 200 pounds. Can barely lift fucking 30 without having back pain nowadays. I fucked up my back, ego lifting, and trying to fucking do shit just to get people that were working, that I was working under off my back. And then I ended up not breaking my back, but fucking up my back because of that. And then the Sunrise incident where I beat the absolute fucking shit out of in the fucking bar. And then I've been fucked up ever since that. And then my accident followed, because that was August 2nd, 2022, and then my car accident followed shortly after in March 10th, 2023. And all I want, like, that was the best part of my life, because I had a boyfriend. I loved him. I still love him unconditionally. I lost him. Well, I lost my car, and then I lost him. I lost myself before I lost him, and then when I lost him, I was fucking miserable. But luckily, right before I lost him, he motivated me to get into the adult store job that I used to have, and that was my best job that I've ever had. And the reason that I became homeless this past time around was because I was living with an abusive couple that were fighting 6 days a week amongst each other, and then they were trying to rope me into it or fucking blame me for shit multiple times a week. And I think just in a couple month time frame, like in less than 6 months, I think the dude threatened my life like 300 times. It was just a ridiculous amount of threats, like all the time. And I finally got fed up with it. One time he said to me, he's like, you know how easy it would be to kill you? I could just fucking do it and take you a couple blocks down the road and bury you in the woods. And I was like, I looked him dead in the fucking face, as calm as I could be. And I said, I'd really like to see that. And then I smiled at him like a fucking psychopath. Um, yeah, people don't know that I'm not the one to fuck with. They test me and they want to fucking find out the hard way. It's really entertaining on my perspective. But I lost my job because we closed down after I was there like a year and a half, and that's when I was looking for work for like 2 or 3 months, and then finally I ran out of money and I had to. He was trying to evict me at that point. They just wanted me gone, which I was the only reason I wanted to stay because it was cheap. But I was happy to leave because I was tired of dealing with the threats and the fucking drama and the bullshit and the fighting all the time. So I had nothing to do with it. It wasn't even my relationship, and they were making it me feel like I'm in the middle of shit all the time. So I was fucking happy to leave. That was October 15th of last year. So we've officially been homeless for a little over a year, like a year and 2 months actually today. Think positive. I try to. I am grateful that I have a community here on YouTube now. Um, oh my god. I'm fucking hallucinating. I don't like that shit. Going through fucking withdrawals. And I talk about this shit, but nobody really, like, I feel like understands it on the level that I do. I mean, I'm dealing with it firsthand. Of course, nobody's gonna get it the way that I do, but I'm literally like, it's like I'm self-inducing myself into a fucking mushroom trip or something by being sober. And I don't like that at all. Because I've quit mushrooms. And I don't want to fucking be back on mushrooms. The last time I took mushrooms was a bad experience earlier this year, and it's what got people pressuring me for a whole month and a half to like get them some, and then the dude that I got them from was pressuring me, so I was pressured on both sides. To the middleman. And I just got assaulted last week over it. Dude tried to attack me at a gas station. I look forward to YouTube, but I'm also fucking enraged because the prime years of my life are ending. I'm already going on 26. Like, sure, yeah, I still have the rest of my 20s. Oh boy! When I feel like I should have fucking been transitioned at like 18, like as soon as I could have. At 18 or 19 or 20, 21, 22. You know, if I would have transitioned at 22, I'd still be happy. Everybody says, "Oh, it's not too late." Huh. Yeah. Maybe for you, it's easy to say. Look where I'm at. I'm not even me. I have to live a complete fucking act every single day of my life. And I am so fucking beyond sick of it. So you know what? That's why I'm leaving. This fucking town. But there's a lot of things that I miss, and I'm incomplete. And I died. That my favorite part of me died the day that I fucking had a near death experience in my car. So, yeah, fun. Mm-hmm. But yeah, maybe mute or trim it down. Real shit. Mia says, "Let's think positive." I'm trying to. Queen, yeah, I struggle with that more than anything because of all this bullshit that I'm going through. I'm literally fucking miserable, and this is my second winter homeless, and I'm surprised that I made it through last winter without fucking dying. I just found out about a guy literally like within this last week when I was up in Stevens Point. He fucking froze to death a couple blocks away from the shelter. Okay? And I was outside in this shit. It's killing people. Queen T says, "This experience you should live up. It shows who you are and something you went through. Sorry if I had some weed. I'd shove it through the phone too." That's funny. Queen T says, "But honestly, I stay away from all drugs now. Over a year sober. Yippee." That's amazing, Tiffany. Great work. Great work. Queen mentality shit. And I've never been to jail, so I can't imagine something. We gotta get your life back. To you, smiling. I don't think that's gonna happen. Because I don't even have my own life anymore. I have to live somebody else's. You see how dead I am in my fucking eyes? There's no life left in me. I have been drained, completely fucking drained, pretty much since 2023. Yep. So going on 3 years now. I'm fucking pissed. I smile a lot, but it's fucking fake. Why the most depressed people are like some of the funniest people? Why do you think I'm joking around all the time and all this shit? And I'm just like always trying to make myself laugh because y'all I can't even say the type of shit that's on my mind on YouTube. I literally would get myself fucking banned. Um, Willow says some good stories. Good in the way that they're eye opening and enlightening to other people, but they're really fucking shitty stories for me. And I'm so fucking like the worst one is probably losing my car. And then the one about the bar fight where I'm not even gonna fucking tell that story because of how bad it is. I got punched in the head like fucking over 20 times. I had blood coming out my left ear. I had pissed myself because I got beat so hard. And I got knocked out cold. And then the fucker like kicked me in the back. And that's what fucked up my back and why I have back problems to this day. Torn back muscle, torn tendon, fucked up fucking disc. Like a compacted disc, I think it is. Or a slipped disc, whatever. Either or. Same difference. Who cares? Mia says, well, think about the bright side of your life. There's not much like left of that, but I have other things that I have to look forward to. But I am miserable because I am in pain every single fucking day physically, and it was at points where it was excruciating, and I was like uncontrollably fucking crying because I was in so much back pain. I almost got paralyzed over this shit. And this was before the car. So imagine what losing my car did to me. Um, my car was my best thing that I ever had. Nicest thing that I ever owned. Most expensive thing that I ever owned. And I had to sign it away to the fucking towing company because I had no money to fucking pay them for the tow. I should have shoved my fucking toe up fucking Neiman's asshole. Mia says, well, my birthday is on March. Literally 301. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Cool. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. I'll try and remember that. I will try and remember that because I'll wish you a happy birthday. Queen T says I played Call of Duty and Counter Strike, Unreal, and I got Kiddo into Call of Duty, etc. And he was kicking my ass when he was like 5 years old. LOL. I played World of Warcraft 2. I was a bigger game. Yeah. Oh my back hurts so fucking bad. I need this massage chair though. It really fucking helps. Mia says I asked about the jail stuff. My bad. No, it's all good. Mia, you're fine. Absolutely fine. Queen, I honestly, it's something that I needed to talk about. It's something that I probably needed to confront. Queen T says, huh, withdrawals from? I've been through withdrawals, but I don't know what you're sober from weed. I'm sober 2 days from weed, and I'm withdrawing from weed. And that's why I went to jail the last time. I was in blackout fucking psychosis because I went like cold turkey, not smoking weed for like a week, and it really fucks up your brain when you're chemically dependent on it. That's why I would raise the legal age of alcohol, tobacco, and THC to the age of 25. Willow says, I know how hard it is, Sakura. You will get to where you want, though, and, well, I mean, it's easier for you to say. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be mean, but I gotta remind you, it's a lot easier to just say that shit. But you actually have been trying to help me, and you were looking into resources for me earlier regarding the car stuff, so I really do appreciate that with the license and all that. You will get through. When you look back, you will be proud of how strong you are. Maybe, hopefully. Maybe if I'm able to lift 200 fucking 20 pounds again someday, but I seriously fucking doubt it. Unless I become fucking General Grievous with an entire metal fucking body or something. Become a true transhuman fucking cyborg. Willow says, well, I don't know exactly, but you will make it. Thank you. You know what's good. Queen T says, do you still have the number? Do you still have the number you gave me? I think, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I'm fucking terrible at responding or messaging. Willow says, no, I meant Sakura. Like, try and say good stories. Oh, you are backed up on the chats, but it's okay. I don't really have a lot of good stories because most of the last 10 years of my life have been mostly negatives. So, Santa baby, won't you give me a fat fucking lump of coal? Withdrawals are from the marijuana. I really need some fucking money. I really need some money, and I wouldn't even be fucking in a position where I was stressing about it or wanting to like find a way to get some or like borrow some from somebody if I wouldn't have loaned out as much money as I did. Like fucking $62. I'm fucking pissed. 32 of it was real dollars. And the other 30 food card. I warped my food card earlier today. I had a hand warmer in my pocket and it got so hot that it like started to melt the plastic. Hand warmers, the chemical ones, they can get up to like 131 plus Fahrenheit. Who? What am I up to? Barely living. Thank you for asking. I really fucking... I hate being asked sometimes how am I doing or like what am I up to by people that I don't really know, because I always feel like I gotta fucking lie to them. I'm like, oh, okay, that's good. We're chilling it. 5 degrees outside, you gotta be... 2026 Toyota Sequoia Hybrid SUV, 437 horsepower. Bold. That does not look like a Toyota. Reminder, Cash App investing broker change action may be required. Your account will transition to Apex Clearing on February 17th, 2026. If you want to opt out, you must notify us by January 5th, 2026. What the fuck are they talking about? I still owe Cash App like $30. So not only do I need to come up with $30 so I don't fucking negatively impact my credit, because I've always only ever fucking... I've never missed a payment on anything except fines at jail, but that doesn't affect your fucking credit. 38 degrees tomorrow? Oh, you know we're doing a fucking Qdoba stream. What did they say? Talk about the best reduced item you have gotten. Probably an entire vegetable snack tray for like $3. But I bought them like a week ago, and they've... probably more than a week ago, and they've just been sitting in my Exactly a week and 3 nights. So 10 days they've been sitting in my mom's fridge and I haven't even opened them. They're probably bad. Probably wasted money. Again, another month where I'm wasting money on shit because I don't get the chance to eat it. Because I'm worried about buying reduced shit, so I have it, and it goes bad quicker. It's a fucking... such a game. Queen T says, well, I have been busy with my nonprofit I'm trying to start up here, and I'm sorry I haven't been messaging you as much. You're absolutely fine, Queen T. I know you're busy. I just have a couple questions and don't want to ask them here. Check your messages. That's fine. Chime and Venmo too. Yeah. Don't borrow anyone money even if they beg you and promise to pay you. They won't, hon. I learned that. I found that out, but I really am trying to be optimistic that people are still going to do their... Well, at least this one last person that I loaned money to, at least I hope they're going to do the right thing and pay me back. Because I don't want to deal with that fucking bullshit. And I just want to be able to have what I need and pay the fucking shit that I need to fucking pay this month because I owe Cash App $50. I've paid half of it back. So I owe them like 26 and some change. There's a lot of people that fucking owe me money. I got robbed $240 one time. But can you check your message really quick or no? Yeah, I can. Hold up. Do I owe Venmo or Chime? No. I only owe Cash App like $26 and some change. I want to fucking pay that off, and then I want to get like a gram for $8 and some change, and then I can make a gram last me like 3 days. Because I really am getting fucking pissed off. Because I'm hallucinating and I'm seeing shit that is not fucking there, and it's really got me fucking paranoid. I'm more paranoid sober than I am on fucking weed. The one and only Nicole says, message retracted. I wonder what they said. Anybody want to enlighten me in the comments? The one and only Nicole. Why? What? How much is a gram? $8 and some change, but they're not open until tomorrow now, so I'm kind of fucked tonight. Kind of fucked like every night I've been fucked in the last fucking 2 or 3 weeks. Every single fucking night I'm fucked. It's not a good fuck. It's a bad fuck. I'm getting too loud. Okay, so you have Chime and Venmo too. Do you owe Venmo? No. How much is gram? 8 and some change. It's from the shop. I get it completely legally. Clean T says LOL, and I don't know, wasn't paying attention to the one Nicole. Oh, gotcha. The one and only Nicole. Why you gotta retract your message? I didn't even see it. I was reading my notifications, so it's not really cool. That's not really cool. Deleted messages. Let's see. I don't like that. That makes me fucking paranoid. You know, Nicole, I just assume you're just trying to talk shit or something, so I'm probably gonna end this live stream now, so no worries. No worries. Much love and peace out. I'll see you guys in the next one, or I'll see you later. I'll go live again tonight, and then I'll probably do like a sleep stream or something, so that'll be interesting. I'm literally trying to just get fucking don't know goals. I'm not even feeling creative enough to make goals, because I would normally make a goal for like every different fucking $10 or whatever, or every 25. He says, bye, have a nice night, Lux. You guys have a great night as well. Have a fantastic night. Think positive. Remember, I'm gonna try to. Cool. Thank you, Mia. Queen T says, message me back quick, please. Okay. You need a rest. You sound dead. Not wanting to be rude. I have been up 28, just over 28 hours now. Love you guys. Love you too. Much love. Peace out. No, you're all good, Mia. I hope you guys have a fantastic night. Thanks for hanging out and chatting with me. Thank you to all 8 of you who commented on the live. Well, all 9. I really want to, Mia, but I obviously... I'm just waiting. I don't have a spot to fucking sleep right now. I was gonna take a nap in the studio, but I can't. Couldn't. I'll catch you guys in the next live. Thanks for the 6 likes as well. I'm gonna try to relax here for a minute. Maybe check out some other videos. Alright, anyhow. I really, like, the hallucinations make me angry. Because I know that they're not there. And it's like, it looks like some shit like running past your peripheral vision. Mia says, WTF sleep. Understandable. I will eventually later, probably in a couple hours, so I'll catch you guys later. Much love and peace out. I'm not gonna do an outro. I don't really have energy, so yeah, I'll just see you guys in the next one, alright? Bye, and remember, the channel wouldn't be anything without you guys.